Happy March, everyone. It's time for the best sporting event of the year, and it's hard for me to say as a huge college football fanatic and YouTuber, but yes, your grandma is not making a college football playoff bracket, but she is making a March Madness bracket, and that says enough. There's a common notion that the blue bloods in college basketball and the best programs are, quote, basketball-only schools and that they suck at football, and what better way to test this than right now with the top 10 teams in March Madness and see where their football programs are at. Yes, I'm relating March Madness back to college football because that's how much I miss it. I need a college football Saturday ASAP. We're gonna do it like this. Since Selection Sunday has not happened yet as I'm recording this video, hopefully you're watching this after as this video is already blown up. We're gonna look at the 10 best odds to win the tournament, and we're going to look at those teams. Some of these on these lists might shock you with how bad their football program is, or they might surprise you, being a lot better than you expected, or maybe they don't even have a football program at all. Before we get started, go let me know in the comments right now who you guys have winning March Madness. If you don't know who I am, I'm Saturday Shenanigans, and I post 3 college football videos every single week to keep you guys entertained all off season. Feel free to subscribe and join the best family in college football. This is the fastest growing college football YouTube channel. Jump on the bandwagon now before it's too late. Coming in at number 10, we have the Baylor Bears, and we know they're an excellent basketball program. In 2021, they won the national championship against Gonzaga. They followed that up with a couple second-round exits, not what they like, but they're slated to be a 3 seed in this year's March Madness. But if you ask the question, are they good at football, it is very complicated to answer. The Baylor Bears are the biggest roller coaster team in college football. Let's just say it like this. They could get 1 win or they could get 11 wins from what we've seen in the last decade. In 2017, they went 1-11. They flipped that around to an 11-3 amazing season in 2019. Then they went back to 2-7 in 2020. And then in 2021, they went 12-2. And now the last 2 years, they have been struggling. But still, this is a team that could pop out of nowhere. They've had a lot of one-hit wonder seasons. But I would still say Baylor is not a great football program. But of course, their basketball program's solid. That being said, the Big 12 is looking so unpredictable for the 2024 football season. If Baylor competes, I wouldn't even be that surprised. I don't think they're as good as a Utah, Oklahoma State, or Kansas, but seriously, the unknown is the expected in that conference. Number 9, the Creighton Blue Jays. Now, if you watch a ton of college football and you're not that familiar with basketball, you're going to think, who? Well, you're absolutely right, because Creighton does not have a football team. They haven't had a football team since 1942. If you were around in 1942, which you're probably not, because that is really old, leave it in the comments. But Creighton's a great program out of the Big East. They've made 3 straight NCAA tournaments. Again, they're slated as a 3 seed. So this is going to be 4 straight. They play in a tough conference. They get the job done. Coach Greg McDermott has been there forever. Oh my gosh, he's been there since 2010. But no football program. Number 8, the Kentucky Wildcats. This team needs no introduction. They are a basketball school. That's what they're known for. Coach Calipari is a legend. They make the NCAA tournament every year. They are one of the blue bloods. So much NBA talent. But as football goes, not quite the same. Now, I'm not here to trash the program. They've had some 10-win seasons in 2018 and 2021, but they play in the SEC. The SEC is just so loaded with the football giants. I don't blame Kentucky. They're not on the same level of Vanderbilt bad for football, but they are a consistent 5-7, maybe an 8-win team on a good year. Throw Kentucky in the ACC or the Big 12. I think they would have a better shot to get to that 9 or 10 win mark more consistently, but still, for a basketball school, this program isn't bad. It's also not amazing either. Number 7, another blue blood program. It's the Duke Blue Devils. You know they're going to be there in March every single year. Death, taxes, and Duke basketball. Are they good at football? Yes, they actually are. Now, you might think I'm crazy. I know Duke had so many seasons where they were 2-9, 3-9, 5-7, but with Mike Elko, he kind of shifted the program in 2022. They went 9-4, then 8-5. I know Elko's going to A&M. Manny Diaz is picking up, but they are very respectable in the ACC. I would say they're on the same level as Kentucky, but again, they play an easier conference. Duke could be a sneaky team. I don't know how they're going to be in 2024, but I think this program is in a much better spot than they were a few years ago. Duke football, they passed the test. They are solid. At number 6, we have the North Carolina Tar Heels, legendary basketball program. I know Duke fans don't want to hear that. I think they're better than Duke and both Kentucky, the other 2 blue bloods at football. Because of this, they've made their conference championship twice since 2015. In 2015 and 2022, Duke and Kentucky cannot say the same. They went 8-5 last season, 9-5 the season before. They are not elite in football. They are good. Plus the NFL talent. We know Sam Howell a few years ago, and then Drake May coming up in the 2024 NFL draft. They are a more attractive program than the other 2 blue bloods I've mentioned. North Carolina, not amazing, but a good football program. One more note, this team absolutely sold in 2023. I was actually high on the Tar Heels. They went 6-0, and I thought they were one of the most underrated teams in the country. They actually got ranked as high as number 10, and they finished the season going 1-5. Oh my gosh, you can't do that. At number 5, we have a team who likes to think that they're elite at football according to their fan base. The other 3 I just mentioned, they know that they're primarily basketball schools. Coming in at number 5, we have the Tennessee Volunteers, and yes, their fan base thinks they are elite in football. However, you were in the SEC, you have Georgia ahead of you next year, you have Ole Miss ahead of you, of course you have Bama, LSU. You guys are on the second tier. I know it's unfortunate. They did have that great season in 2022 where they went 11-2, 9-4, but come on, guys. Nico is not going to save you next year. No, you guys aren't going to the SEC championship or the college football playoff. I forgot to mention the basketball part. Tennessee has amazing basketball. They might even be a number 1 seed this year, depending on how the SEC tournament plays out, and I love their style of play. I'm picking them to go to the Final Four. Number 4, the Arizona Wildcats, always one of the best teams to come out of the West Coast, always in the top of the Pac-12, always rated a high seed, but I don't trust them in the 2024 NCAA Tournament. I cannot trust this team. They always choke in March. They choked last year to a 15 seed. Arizona, please don't do that again. I don't want to go off on a tangent. Arizona is notoriously known as a basketball-only school. Back in 2021, their football team went 1-11, one of the worst teams in the FBS. They were an absolute joke. Now in 2023, they went 10-3 with Jedd Fisch, one of the best turnarounds in college football. An amazing story. Now I get it. Jedd Fisch is going to Washington. Brett Brennan's coming in, but the good thing is Arizona only lost 2 players to Washington. They're keeping Fafita and McMillan. They're keeping the core. I really like the mentality of the team, and they are going to be one of the contenders in the Big 12. So Arizona, congrats to you. You have an amazing basketball program. You also have an amazing football program. Yes, I'm going to say it. Bear down. All right, we're getting into the top 3, and this is where things are going to get interesting because besides Baylor, we haven't seen any bad programs, but this is where it really starts to pick up. At number 3, we have the Purdue Boilermakers, who've made the NCAA Tournament for 9 straight years now. This year in 2024, they're going to be a unanimous number 1 seed. However, we remember what happened last time they were number 1. They lost to a 16. Anyways, let's get into the football part. You had a couple good years in 2021 and 2022, but those were outliers. This is not a good football program. In 2023, they went 4-8. They had a 4-8 year in 2019 as well. And before that, if we look in the mid-2010s, they were just bad overall. No. Now you might think, wait, they're in the Big Ten, one of the best conferences every single year in college football. I can't deny that. However, they were in the Big Ten West, a weak division compared to the East. That is winnable every single year because the winner of that is going to get trampled in the championship game by either Ohio State or Michigan, and they only won their division once since the inception of the East-West. No, I get it. They had a couple nice seasons where they had 9 wins. Nice, you won the Music City Bowl, but no. This is not a good program, and as the Big Ten expands like teams with Oregon and more, and possibly even a super conference within the next decade, a team like Purdue is going to be left behind. So Purdue fans, you can enjoy your basketball, enjoy losing to a 16 seed, or actually going to the Final Four like you should and not disappointing everyone, but football, no, that's not your thing. At number 2, we have the Houston Cougars, who should be the number 1 overall seed for March Madness 2024. Their basketball program since 2020 has been electric. Final Four, Elite 8, Sweet 16, and this year going into the Big 12, a lot of people didn't expect them to be as good as they were in the American. They shut everyone up. They absolutely dominated, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made the Final Four. Now, their football program in the transition from the American to the Big 12 was not as smooth. They went 4-8 overall with a 2-7 conference record in 2023. Of course, in the American Conference, they had their years. In 2021, they went 12-2, and in 2015 with Coach Tom Herman, they went 13-1. They're moving into the Willie Fritz era coming over from Tulane, but I don't think he's going to be able to flip it that fast. He is a great coach. However, the overall rank of their 2024 class is number 47, and the Big 12 has a lot of evenly matched teams who are going to battle it out and scrap it. Houston is not on that level. I expect much of the same for Houston football in 2024. Another 4-8, maybe 5-7 season. There's just a lot of unknown. Great basketball program, but are they good at football? No, but maybe I could change my answer in a couple years. Finally, we made it to number 1. This school is the epitome of good basketball and absolute poop football. It's the Yukon Huskies. I'm just going to let the accolades for Yukon basketball speak for itself. Since 2010, they've won the national title 3 times. That is the most out of any team in college basketball. They're going to be an obvious number 1 seed in the 2024 March Madness. But just between us guys, I'm not picking them. I am not picking them to win. I did give you guys some hints about my bracket throughout the video, so you have some food for thought. Since Yukon football had moved up to the FBS in 2002, they have never had a 10-win season. It doesn't matter where they're playing, whether they're independent, in the Big East, in the American, or now independent again like they are today. This program is consistently in the gutter of college football. Since 2010, they've only appeared in 2 bowl games. In 2015, it was the St. Petersburg Bowl against Marshall. They lost that. And then in 2022, they went 6-7 and also lost the Myrtle Beach Bowl against Marshall. Their kryptonite is Marshall. Let's see this amazing stretch run that they went on in 2016 to 2021. 3-9, 3-9, 1-11. Oh my gosh. 2-10. Oh, they just doubled their wins from 2018 to 2019 and then back to 1-11 again in 2021. That was all before they hired Jim Mora. A dog always runs back to its home. Jim Mora had a great inaugural season in 2022, going 6-7 with Yukon, and then they go right back to what they know best, going 3-9 in 2023. Someone, you who was watching this, who's going to play NCAA 25, please save Yukon in that game. I actually need some real life help. Someone needs to help them in real life. If you go on Google and type in the words, "why is Yukon?" the first search term is, "why is Yukon football so bad?" I am wondering. That is a lifelong question. I could do a full research project. I could do a full graduate project for my degree in that. There's a whole Reddit thread right here that I'm looking at. It is much deeper than you think, guys. This is a whole travesty. Thank you so much for reaching the end of the video. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. I've been Saturday Shenanigans, your home for unfiltered college football content.